Great Train Show took place January 15th and 16th at the Ohio Expo Center inside the Lausch Building in Columbus, Ohio. I arrived around 1 p.m. and it wasn't very crowded, so I began walking around, and of course I'm looking for Lionel trains or O-scale trains, O-gauge trains. They had a few, but not as many as I had hoped. There were some tables, maybe a total of 5 or 6 vendors that had Lionel trains, but the majority had to do with HO scale and children's trains like the Thomas the Tank engines and the little wooden trains that roll on wooden track. I was hoping to find some good deals on Amtrak engines or maybe some Baltimore and Ohio equipment, but this was just not my lucky day for that sort of thing. After a while, though, I had narrowed down my search, and I was able to find 5 or 6 items that were bargains. They're not collectible by themselves. They are most likely going to be turned into projects or taken apart to use for parts for existing projects that I'm trying to finish. This one vendor had some interesting die-cast cars, which I still collect also, at least the ones that are similar in scale to Lionel trains. They also had a few model kits, some from 40, 50 years ago, and then a nice mixture of new model kits also. I would have loved this when I was a teenager, but my model building days as far as airplanes and tanks and little cars, that's pretty much behind me. But it's still nice to see these every now and then. The selection of O-gauge trains was a little disappointing, both in the amount available and in the variety. So I decided to head over to look at the layouts, and I was hopeful that maybe I could find a nice Lionel setup. But instead that was mostly HO scale and N scale too. In all fairness, they did have a Lionel train setup, but even though it was large, I'd hesitate to call it a layout. They had maybe 3 concentric loops of track, no landscaping, and no buildings. So I hate to sound so negative, but my overall feeling when I left the train show was one of disappointment. But there are better days ahead. And until then, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.